So now that you've got your V250 out of the box and powered up and connected to all of your cameras, the next thing that you're going to be greeted with is going to be this 3X Logic Easy Setup Wizard screen. Now there's a couple of options here on this screen. Simple enough, you can come down here and merely just click the continue button, or if you want to, you can exit the wizard and configure the software manually. For this video, I'm just going to go ahead and click continue. Now this will jump out onto your corporate network here, and it will DHCP an IP address so that it does configure it automatically for the network that you are on. It's also going to assign its own network for your IP cameras, as we do have a network switch built into each one of these machines. Now if you do want to change any of these, you certainly can via the advanced button that'll take you into the Network and Sharing Center through Windows and allow you to change them. But for this demo, again, I'm just going to go ahead and click continue and jump over to the next screen. Now this screen, it will jump out and connect and test your internet connection to see if you are connected to the internet. You may also see a checking for update screen, and that's just checking for an update if we have anything new to add to the setup wizard here. Now the next screen you're going to be greeted with is going to be the system date and time. This makes it really easy for you to set it for whatever time zone you're in, and of course in my case I'm in Mountain Time, so I'll go ahead and click Mountain Time here, and all we have to do is just hit continue to jump to the next page. Now on this screen, this is where you're going to actually do the system identification for these particular DVRs. Now you do want to give it a name. Now in this case, I'm just going to title it simple enough Aaron's DVR. I'm also going to enable Vigil Connect. Now Vigil Connect is our own DDNS server that allows you to find the machine on the internet without having to use a static IP, or more importantly, go in and actually port forward the individual ports through the router of the network you are connecting this to. So I'm going to just go ahead and put in Aaron's DVR on here as well, and I'm going to test this to make sure that that name has not already been taken. Simple enough, as you can see. Of course, that's a valid name. I'll hit OK, and then I'll hit continue down in the bottom right corner. So on this next page, we're going to be adding cameras to the system. Now you may notice the one listed there off to the right, your cameras. In this case is the 3X Logic camera. This is the Vuzix series of cameras, of course being manufactured by 3X Logic, by us. Now you have a couple of other options that you can add to it as well. For instance, if I had any ACTI cameras maybe on my network, simple enough, I can just add that, and of course we're going to run their scanning utility to see if there's any of those cameras on our network. Or, simple enough, highlight it, and then of course you can remove them or even add them all, whatever you want to do. From here, all you got to do is click the continue button. So the next page here is going to be the camera detection page, and this is where we're going to jump out onto the network and actually look for the cameras that you have connected to the V250. Be patient, this will take a moment. Of course, we're going to look through a number of MAC addresses and obviously the entire Vuzix product line to see how many cameras that you have connected to it. So as you can see, this did find one of the cameras here, simple enough that we've just got connected in the office here for the purpose of this demo. Now you've got a couple of options here. You can add a camera manually, or you can also click the advanced button down here at the bottom. Now you notice I do have a couple of options as to which network I want to detect these on. In this case, I want to see what's connected to my IP camera ports on the back of the V250. So I'll go ahead and hit next. That'll take us over to this next screen that will actually show us what these are all set to as far as a default value. Now this is really kind of a neat thing because it will show you not only what we're going to default, the recording rate as far as frames per second, but also the resolution that we're going to be using as well. So I've got a couple of options. For instance, I can come in here, I can modify the recording resolution or the quality or the recording mode, you know, all of this wonderful stuff. But more importantly, what this does show you is it does show you what we're going to set up as a default. So for instance, if I didn't want it at maybe 8 frames a second, maybe I preferred it to be at 3 or whatever you want to set these guys to, all of these options are here. Now from here, all we got to do is just simply click the continue button. You can come down here and actually add in your email address, first name, last name, company, all of this wonderful stuff. That way you can get a copy of all of these settings that you've just entered into the V250 wizard. Essentially, we are completed. I'm going to come down here and click Finish, and this is going to save the settings to the Vigil DVR software themselves. Now that you've configured the Easy Setup Wizard, you will be prompted to change the administrator username and password. Obviously, these credentials is something that we want to set that's going to be very secure. So in this case, I'm going to come in here, and I will just simply put my name. My password will be my super secret password here. I can check to automatically log on, obviously, to my administrator account every time this machine starts up, or simply uncheck that. I also have the option of being able to create a user credential. Entirely up to you as to whether or not you want this. Of course, you can always go back into the server and add these at a later time. In this case, I'm going to uncheck it, and then, of course, click OK. That's essentially all that there is to it. Now from here, you then can jump into the Vigil server and do any other configuration that you need to. But as far as the easy setup wizard goes, you are off to the races. You are recording and have the ability of being able to look at live and playback.